All right, today we are repairing this boulder wall here. We got a koi fish pond and waterfall, and we are just wanting to make sure that this wall stays intact. So you can see here, we've already dug it out, but this whole boulder wall is essentially caving out. It wasn't put together correctly. The soil behind it was starting to drain through when there was rain, and so essentially then the rocks are falling apart. So we are essentially going to put drainage behind with good gravel, put a road fabric in there to in order to keep the erosion, keep the gravel, the soil from eroding through the cracks. And then over here, down at the bottom, same thing is happening. And you can see here, it's already starting to fall apart, this boulder wall here. It's not put together correctly, just kind of piled on there. So we need to make sure they don't fall down and that the pond can stay intact. You can see here how this one's been buckled out. So essentially if a wall isn't put together correctly, over time the weight will push rocks out. So you need to make sure that they are pushed back in and they're all stacked. The reason this happened is because they tried to go too vertical when they installed this. What you gotta do is have a little bit of pitch backwards, and you gotta make sure that, for instance, this face of this rock is tilted. You can see it's tilted out this way. And then what happens is as weight gets pushed on the top of it, it'll just cave out like this. So you need to set back at a slight angle. Today is day one of a split rail fence install job that we got. We got some of the lumber over here, and we started to take out the fence. As you can see, the fence is super old, falling apart, and has a whole bunch of moss growing on it. So we're out here in Sumiyama. It's probably about 1,000 linear feet of this stuff that we're putting in. And you can see we've already started taking it out. It just rotted. We need to encase it in gravel. They didn't install them correctly. You can see here, they're kind of falling apart. They got moss growing on them. Starting to crack over there. It's starting to fall over and all sorts of stuff. So it's super loose and it's very wobbly. So we're gonna get it all fixed up. The winter last year really kind of did a number on it. And so installing all the way down to there on this side, and then the equivalent on the other side of the neighborhood entrance. So we got a job in Lynden here. Need more of these East Whatcom County jobs now that we got our second location in Bellingham. And so what we're doing here today is essentially installing a French drain along this patio, and then we're going to tunnel it out with PVC pipe out to their beds. The reason for that is because during the winter, this whole patio basically becomes like a pond. The water's running off of these rocks and just sitting here like a pond all winter. So we'll create a drain. We'll have perforated pipe underneath a liner, and then also cobbles, just so they can blow it all off. And then right from here, it'll connect to that solid PVC. You'll see the line there. And right now we're just trenching this out. All right, so progress being made here on the landscaping job. You can see we've installed curbing. We dug a trench around this entire flower bed here, and then installed gravel just so that it has a good solid base. Then we installed this curbing. It's just 8 inches exposed concrete curbing there, and then that is a trench with gravel, road fabric underneath, and then use these stones just for the edging. What's nice about this is now you can just run your edger or your weed whacker right along this and run your mower right over the top of that big property here. So they want to use their riding lawnmower for the edging. Here we're doing the French drain, and you can see here what's kind of looking like now. We've already dug this all the way out. That pipe there, that PVC is a 4-inch solid PVC. It goes all the way out there to the flower bed, and in here we're putting in a bunch of cobblestones, and then we will put in some perforated 4-inch perforated pipe right there. And you can see what happens. goes all the way down here, this PVC pipe, and it's draining out, had a couple feet of fall, and it's gonna go down to this hole, other end of the PVC pipe. We're gonna line this, put a bunch of cobbles, and then what'll happen is, since this is on a nice slope downwards, it'll just kind of erode and kind of just wash down into this bed, into the field, and they won't have any more standing water here in this backyard. Quick sod job today here in Semiahmoo, but what is really cool is that view. Fall is officially here. It started to rain today like crazy, but today we are installing a new yard here in Bellingham. This used to be a rain garden, however it was improperly installed. The drainage was really poor, so we're essentially going to tear it all out, put in new soil and sod, and then do a drain rock perimeter all the way around the edges, turn out the morning glory that's kind of taken over, and then there's all this hog fuel that will get covered up. And so this will be just basically a brand new lawn, sod in the middle, perimeter of drain rock. Nice fall morning here. Today we are doing an aeration and thatching at this place. A really nice lawn, but it's really thick. And so what we're doing there is thatching, getting all the thatch out of the grass. It's super thick, lots of thatch is building up. I'll show you here. There's all the thatch that we're pulling up out of the grass. It really helps it grow a lot better, especially during spring, but to help it over the winter as well. Pulls out a lot of the moss as well. So then kind of the process is getting the thatch out, sucking the thatch up with the blower device there, and then we do the aeration, core aeration with the plugs that will be put out on top. So getting this place looking nice, beautiful sunrise here this morning. So this is kind of like prep day. We are going to be doing a wall here in Blaine, just outside of Blaine. You can see here we've already marked out where the wall is going to be. 65 feet long. It's going to start up here and then kind of curve around and end up over there. It's all going to be these boulders here. We've got a whole more coming in. But what we're going to do is build it up about 3 feet to the grade that's up above there. And we'll backfill it and install a lawn and a flower bed up on top. Alright, getting started now on the wall. First course of the boulders is now all set. We dig it down about 6-8 inches, some of these spots just to bury that first course. And then behind it we're putting drain rock for drainage. And then after that, obviously we'll be putting the geogrid, which kind of locks it up, helps with erosion, things like that. So making progress here. Alright, so today we are taking out these 4 arborvitae. They are probably 40 years old, been here. And what we're worried about is them buckling up this concrete driveways here, and the roots are starting to go underneath. So what we're going to do is trench out along the concrete line there and cut all the roots, and then we'll use the truck to essentially just chain them up by the root ball and pull them all out so they can plant new plants inside there. Alright, today we got our first little bit of a frost coming in. A nice fall morning though, not a cloud in the sky. We're planting this vine maple here in the middle. We're gonna make a bed here, and then over here next to the road they have drainage issues. They have a big bunch of water that's been collecting here next to the mailbox. So we're gonna kind of create a drain with a bunch of drain rock going off into the ditch over here, and then this whole front area is really bad soil. So we're gonna remove it, put new soil, resod it, put this nice drain rock bed in here, drain off into the ditch. All right, just a few hours later, got this tree planted. Nice little bed there, it'll grow nicely there. And then over here, installed sod. Put a couple plants in here. There was one that was dead. Put a Lincoln laurel in there. And then in here, we dug a ditch actually down. We ended up digging it down like a foot deep. right, so today we're building another split rail fence. This split rail fence only has 2 notches though, so it's not quite as tall as the one we've been putting in last week. This one is going to just make an L shape. You can see where the stakes are for this post along the road, and then it's gonna go back through the forest actually. So you can see back through here, we're just essentially demarcating the property line for this client. It's gonna go all the way back through here, like 150 feet, all the way back through here. You can see where we marked out the posts. And so this one's gonna be a little bit tough because all these roots and things from these trees are gonna be tough to get through. But we'll start digging with the auger and post hole diggers and get all this stuff done. Should get it all wrapped up in one day. Got several of the guys out here to get it all cleaned up.